Council members voting today to confirm Mayor John Horn's appointments of several department head positions. More than a dozen department heads and municipal court judges were up for council approval. A few of these included Rashawn Thomas as fire chief, Drew Martin as city attorney, Angela Harris as municipal clerk, and Lorenzo Anderson as public works director. Jackson has not had a public works director since 2023. Anderson is already laying out his plans for the department.
All the challenges in public works, potholes, storm drainage, fleet, anything dealing with public works under my management, I plan to handle and make the city of Jackson better.
Many of the appointees were unanimously confirmed. No nominations were brought forward for Director of Parks and Recreation, Chief Financial Officer, or Jackson Police Chief.